Assalamu alaikum, video 8. Ron Howard made a movie called On Golden Pond. This movie is he made it a long time ago. Okay, he produced a movie called On Golden Pond. And On Golden Pond was a movie about, you know, when the old people got old, they weren't afraid of transcending life because they would become a light body, right? A light energy body. They would leave behind the physical body, the body they were incarnated into on this physical plane, and they would become a light body and leave to the higher plane. Well, that's like what happens when the person incarnates. They incarnate as energy. They incarnate as energy into this Milky Way, physical Milky Way. They incarnate as reflected of the semen going into the female body to incarnate, to grow and incarnate into the physical, the world of man, right? The earthly plane. Well, when the consciousness rises, it goes back to the crown chakra as light, spiritual energy, right? As energy. Just like Ron Howard's movie, On Golden Pond. When they left their bodies, or when you transcend, right, to the higher consciousness, you leave the physical plane of the mother. You leave the womb consciousness of the mother, the galactic consciousness of the mother, and you transcend to the higher consciousness of the father. Just like leaving the physical body comes from the mother, and this light body comes from the father. That light body leaves the mother of the mother galaxy and goes back to the father galaxy, just like the consciousness rising, just like Ron Howard's On Golden Pond. Okay? Now, and for those who don't know who Ron Howard was, he was a little boy who played in Andy Griffith. Okay? Andy Griffith's movie, I forget what, Mayberry HRD, okay, Mayberry FRD or something like that, I can't remember, but yeah, that's what the movie, On Golden Pond. Anyway, so the Saturn is on the stellar cardinal plane, just like Cancer is on the cardinal plane, and it's also represented by the second trimester, okay, because the first trimester is from Libra, from Cancer to Libra, that's one. Second trimester from Libra to Saturn, second trimester. Third trimester is when everybody's born, humanity, as represented humanity being born at Ra, where the sun comes up, right? The sun comes up. The sun is erected. The body of man is erected, right? Okay. So, that is when humanity was born, right? As it relates to humanity being born in Africa, or Alkebulan, okay, in the east, okay, where the sun rises, right? Okay, at Ra, right, ascension, okay. So now also represented by the second trimester of pregnancy for the Milky Way. Black female galaxy. Now, if you look up in the sky right now with no light in it, no solar energy, it's black, just like the black body of man. Okay? So all humanity is black, come from the black body. We all come from this black matter. Okay? Now, it's just that this Nazi Zionist. These Nazis are trying to bleach humanity out because they want to manifest that seed of energy that they put in, the shit put in man. It wants to manifest that shit like the pig was manifested. It wants to manifest that pig shit. Okay, that shit seed. Okay, it wants to manifest that. Okay, and that's why it's bleaching humanity out, because it does. Its body is abnormal, and when it will be manifest, it will be abnormal. It will be abnormal, and just like I said, it will be barren. It will be unable to reproduce. Okay. Now, and it will be abnormal because it can't go the full cycle. It can't reproduce the full cycle, so it will be abnormal, just like Cain was abnormal, right? Okay, so now we said Saturn is the second trimester, just like pregnancy, for the Milky Way female galaxy, and all babies are delivered on the first cardinal plane at Ra, which represents the house of in heaven in the Milky Way. In the Milky Way heaven is the house of, and the Milky Way heaven is the house of Aries, or arise, right? Right ascension, arise. Mankind arises. He's erected into the world. The sun, just like the sun rises, is erected into this physical dimension. Okay? And just as all the other planets around the sun, that's how the melanin surrounds the embryo. I mean the embryo when it's developing. As it's developing, the melanin surrounds it to protect it, just like the planets protect the sun, right? So as that little solar light soul is developing and beginning to grow is being incarnated, is protected by the melanin, right? By the black, just like the black skin protects from the sun, right? The harmful rays of the sun, the UV rays of the sun, right? Okay, so so we said that. Okay, so man erects in the house of Aries, right ascension, just like the sun. Okay, at springtime, he springs up, just like the sun, right? And everything springs up. All life is drawn up out of the earth, springs up, right? Okay, or as I said, the spring equinox. As Easter or Ishtar commemorates, and that's what Ishtar commemorates, right? The Easter egg, the egg meaning the womb from which all bodies of humanity are come from, which represent the female universe, right? Because that's what Ishtar represents, the mother of heaven, the female galaxy, right? Oh, she represents the female galaxy, right? Represents the Milky Way, in which all humanity is born into, incarnated into, right? From the solar energy of Andromeda, the masculine energy, right? As it's injected in and incarnates. The earth represents man. The earth represents man, the body of humanity. That's why it's spelled heart. The earth represents the body of man. It represents man, and that's what man was made of, clay, right? So the earth represents man as the earth was created from Andromeda and the Milky Way, as man was created from as humanity was created from man and woman. Right? So it's the same thing, and just as the earth represents the heart, as it represents the name, the heart is created first, right? Okay, so so in the Milky Way, what do we say? Okay, at Ra, springtime, equinox, Easter commemorates, okay? So now the resurrection of humanity, the erection of the humanity, because the sun comes up every day. It's resurrected. It comes back to life. It goes down, no sun in the east or no sun in the west, but it comes up the next day. Okay? So it's resurrected, like humanity. The parents may pass, or the grandparents may pass, but they're resurrected. Their DNA is resurrected through their children in their second generation, right? Not in their children. Their DNA is in their children, but resurrected in their grandchildren. So grandchildren, that's why grandchildren are very important to grandparents, because the grandchildren are the grandchildren are the grandparents. The grandchildren are the grandparents resurrected, right? So when we had Halloween, right, and the ancestor came back, we had a lot of grandparents that came back, right? The energy that was resurrected, right? That's returned through the grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren, right? Okay. Now, So now the third celestial mutable plane of Pisces also represents the third trimester. Okay, the birth of humanity. No, yeah, the birth of humanity, or Aries, because Aries represents the birth of humanities, and from Aries we go to Pisces, we go to Aries, right? Okay. On the physical realm, in the physical realm, from his black mother, clay, heart, earth, or okay. And Pisces also represents Isis, okay? Because in Pisces you have the two fish, the twin fish, the Isis, okay? The Isis, Pisces. And pi is for two ice, okay? Two fish, right? Two fish, okay? And I'm sure it represents male and female, right? Okay, as it represents duality, right? Okay, but I'm not sure. It could represent the two female. I don't understand how that is. But it represents the twins. It represents the twins, so it has to represent male and female because it represents twin, right? And the reincarnation of all humanity, right? It represents the incarnation of all humanity. As the sun goes from Pisces to Aries, right? Okay, so now, so Pisces represents the third trimester for on the as it represents a three-story galactic plane, right? Or the galactic houses. So we have the first cardinal plane, that will be one trimester. Third trimestral plane, first trimestral plane would be Aries through Saturn. Second trimester plane would be Taurus through Gemini. Taurus through Leo. Then the third trimester plane would be Pisces through Gemini. Okay? And that would be like humanity being incarnated, okay? That would be like the third trimester, right? Okay. And then that would be like humanity being, all of humanity being born again, from going from Pisces, from the bottom all the way to the top again, and starting all over again, right? Being born at Aries, okay? Okay. Okay, now, but actually all humanity will be born again at Gemini. It would start all over at Gemini. Okay? Because, no, at Pisces. At Pisces. No, a Gemini. It would be a Gemini. Because the complete cycle would take place, end at Gemini. So the humanity would be born again at Gemini. Okay? Okay. Has to be. Okay? Now, and Gemini is what again? Twins. Right? It will represent the twins. Twin flames. Right? Okay, male and female. Okay? Now, so, okay, said that, okay, here we are. Dang, they're out, no, one up there. Okay, we will be going to video, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we'll be going to video 9. Wow, okay, so we said that would be the third trimester, okay, for all humanity to start all over again. For the world, let's say the world to start all over again, okay, after the 24,000 year cycle, it would end at Gemini, right? It would end at Gemini and start all over again, right? No, would it be born again at Gemini and start all over again at Gemini? Yeah, we start all over, it would end at Gemini. It would end at Gemini. Okay? It would start all over again at Gemini. Okay? Yeah, it would start all over again at Gemini. Okay? Okay. So, after the, 24,000 year cycle, it would start again at Gemini. Okay? Okay. Aries would start off all over again. No. There's something interesting in that. That has to be researched. But anyway, okay, so now, so all humanity would start off all over again at Aries, right? Humanity would start at Aries again as we go from Pisces to Aries, right? Humanity would start off all over again and would be born again at Aries after the complete cycle has, the complete sun has gone through all, or, through all the constellations, right? Okay. So Pisces will represent the third trimester, right? Pisces would represent the third trimester. Yeah, Pisces would represent the third trimester. Pisces would represent the third trimester. Okay, giving birth to Aries, right? The lamb, right? Okay. Now, on the physical realm, from its black mater, okay, or black mother, mater, okay? And just like in Egypt, mother was called Ma'at, right? Mater, matter, right? Just from the black matter. Clay, mother, or heart, or earth, right? Because the earth is a female, right? Representing the body of man. From earth, the female body of earth, man was created, right? Of its black clay. Okay. Now, it is why it is why the Nazi German Vatican corrupts the application or the consciousness of what Draco is, the red and blue dragon. It is an attempt to control and subdue the Kundalini, the root chakra. So, the Nazis or the Zionists want to control, they want to label the Kundalini the dragon because they know the intense power. What did I call him before? The shit. The house of shit. Shit, I won't even call it a house because they don't have a shit house. Shit wants to control the Kundalini, the root chakra, right? So it can control, the gauge the person's emotions, how they feel, how they think, okay, their behavior, right? So, and they have to do that, they control the woman, because that's where the Kundalini rests, right? Well, no, they control the woman, right? Because they can't control the man, because the man, they manipulate the man, right? But they don't have that solar power. They don't have a solar power, so they don't control the higher, galaxy, right? But they create, they're homosexuals, right? So that's how they try to control the male energy, by being homosexual and taking the woman's place. And that's why they repress the woman, so that they can take her place, okay? And control the man by controlling the woman, right? And that's why they have this misogynist system whereby they try to control the woman in order to control the man. So man, if you're smart, you won't try to control your woman. You will listen to your woman, right? Because, the woman is the one who makes you a king, basically, because it's through her body, her galaxy, that you are able to manifest your semen, your soul. The souls from your body are incarnated on her physical plane, and then they return back to you, right? Matured, refined. So that's why they repress the woman, and that way they control both energies, both houses, both galaxies, right? So they try to subdue the Kundalini in the woman and in the man, control it, right? And that's the passion, right? They try to control that passion, okay? Oh, and the red and blue energy, right? The red and the blue energy. The red Kuchina and the blue Kuchina. Remember, if you watched the videos, what I said about the red Kuchina and the blue Kuchina. First, the blue Kuchina would come. There were signs from Allah when, this is what the Hopi natives of this land, Turtle Island, said, which they are very correct. Their prophecy is very correct. when it says, first there'd be a blue Kachina, then a red Kachina. So first it would come, and I would say the water, which we have in now, all the floods and all. Then the fire comes. That would be the what? That wormwood, right? And all the meteorites, right? That would be coming. So, and that's how this earth would be purified. The purifier, right? The red Cochina would be considered the purifier, right? And that would be the dragon lady, when the Kundalini is risen, right? When it's highest, most high, okay? When it's most high, okay? Okay. So, okay. So the next video will be 9. I just want to make sure I got that, keeping track of that. Okay. So so it's represented by the black woman, right? As represented by the north and south galactic poles, the blue and red red poles, Cochina, right? Okay, represented by the Kundalini, red Kundalini and blue Kundalini. Okay? When it is red hot and at the constellation of Cancer, and frigidly cold at the blue as Isis at Saturn. The myth of the Cassiopeia, the myth of Cassiopeia, which represents the Ethiopian queen, the Hebrew queen, right? The queen of Cush, right? A Cushite queen, which would basically represent Queen of Sheba. Okay, so the myth of Cassiopeia, the cosmic Ethiopian queen mother, exemplifies represents how the Kundalini or the Draconians represented by Alpha Draco is represented by the Nazi Antichrist Vatican's quest to conquer and steal the throne, the cosmic soul power of the divine black Mator or Ma'at, mother, okay, galaxy, in order to control and steal the carbon black divine soul power of the divine father galaxy, and thereby obtain absolute power of heaven and earth, as above, so below. Right? They want to steal as above, so below. Okay? And that's what this is all about. It's not just a fight for control over the world. It's fight for control of heaven and earth, right? The two galaxies and the universe, right? As it represents, the carbon man representing, all the energy of masculine energy, right? They try to control heaven, right? So, and remember, it said in the end of this age, right, that there will be a war in heaven, right? There will be a war in heaven. So this is the war that's going on in heaven, right? It's taking place, and he's going to be kicked out of heaven and fall to earth as wormwood, right? As wormwood. And they're trying to prepare for wormwood, right, by building all these caves, right? They're trying to prepare for it while leaving humanity susceptible to it, right? Okay. Now, so the Nazi Antichrist believe in order to achieve their such a grand concept, nuclear power is a must. Thus, America must re-enter the nuclear arms race in accordance to Bible scripture. Okay, the Antichrist, subhumanoid Nazi beast, will be armed with such weaponry, nuclear flesh-melting weaponry, that will melt the flesh off the bones. No Muslim country, okay, no Muslim nation invented or dropped a hydrogen or nuclear flesh melting bomb any place in the world. Depleted uranium is the same as dropping a nuclear bomb, and they dropped those nuclear flesh melting bombs on the Iranian people of the world, and they use those nuclear bombs, depleted uranium bombs, and they dropped those bombs on the hydrogen bomb on the people of Japan, right? So they are the ones who invented those flesh-melting bombs. And it said in the Bible, okay, that the Antichrist would have flesh-melting bombs. Nuclear weapon is a flesh-melting bomb. So you tell me who's the Antichrist. No, don't tell me. Tell yourself who the Antichrist is. Why are you looking for him in the Muslims? Why are you looking for him in any other nation of humanity? Look for him in America. Okay? Trying to take control trying to go to the Holy Land and trying to occupy the throne in Jerusalem. And Americans are told to support this shit, right? So Americans need to wake up of what they're supporting, and European countries need to wake up. All the world needs to wake up and recognize what they're supporting, okay? That they're supporting the Antichrist against their own humanity, okay? Need to disarm those weapons like Iran called for. Iran called for the disarmament of nuclear weaponry, okay? They weren't the same. They weren't trying to nuclear arm. They went to the UN and asked for nuclear disarmament, while the Trump is trying to increase nuclear armament at the time where the economy is collapsing. The dollar is collapsing. The polar shift is supposed to come in. Affect America, right? Which will bring about flooding, right? Of the blue Cochina. Then wormwood is supposed to come in. We are in the end time we have entered the age of Aquarius, yes, but we still have to go through the ending of the age of Pisces, the shift. So we need to be preparing ourselves, not trying to start war and deplete the economy more and collapse it more. That would be very, very stupid and unwise, unless the people got somewhere to go, unless they have an alternative plan. But do you? That's what you need to ask, okay? When thinking about voting in 2000 for the 2020 election, that's what you need to think about, okay? When you cast your ballot, you need to ask yourself, do you want to live or do you want to die? Okay? That's the next question when you cast your ballot. Do you want to live or do you want to die? Okay? Let alone about the economy of the Republican or the Democrat. That's irrelevant. Question is, do you want to live or do you want to die? Do you want flesh on your bones or do you want flesh off your bones? Okay? Now, so the so they believe nuclear armament is the best way to build up their to survive, or to take over the galaxies or the universe, right? In order to so now we talked about the flesh melting. Okay, now we talked about the Muslims never having that bomb. Okay, so the beast attempts to religiously, politically, and socio-economically disassociate and cut the black woman from recognizing and embracing her galactic throne, okay? Because he seeks to steal it, Jerusalem. The beast seeks to rule over her children, humanity, the sun, the moon. He wants to move over her sun, the moon, the stars, all of the moon stars, the planetary bodies, and all of the heavens above, by repressing her misogyny and brutality, and incarcerating her children, and minimum wage job, wage gaps, and through social engineering, basically, right? Repressing her and taking over her galaxy when sitting his shitty beast, antichrist, anti-human ass on her galactic throne. Because Jerusalem represents the throne of the woman. Okay? It represents the throne of the black mother, the black woman, the black galaxy. Because again, if you look up in that sky, you're going to see the blackness when the sun is gone. Okay? When the sun is on the other hemisphere. So there's no denying it. Right? Okay. Now, and one might say, what does it represent when the sun is out there? It still represents the same damn thing, because in the east it's dark. Okay? And without the masculine sun, it's still dark. And it's only light so far. The sun only lights up so much this solar system, so much of this solar system. Okay? Okay. So anyway, now, akin to Lilith, the black woman is beaten down. They attempt to beat the black woman down, call her mad, black, and crazy. Socially, and leave her isolated and abandoned, right? Do the commercials. Be with a European woman. You'll be happy. You'll be successful. Trust us. You'll have beautiful, straight-haired children and just glorious. It'll be glorious. All good for you. If you just leave that negative black woman behind. No, leave your power behind. That's what they're trying to say. Leave your power behind. Bleach yourself to be gypsum gray, like an alien, tall gray alien, right? That's what they want you to be like. So your divine consciousness won't work. You can't connect to the universe telepathically. So your hue will be gone, right? And the hue around the fetuses will be gone. It's game. Yes, European people need to integrate. Yes, they do, but not by trying to castigate the black woman. Okay, not by trying to castigate her. And you do need black people at all times. You do need black people. That's why the culture is so beautiful, because, you know, going from the most advanced technological culture to the most ancient culture, we need all of it, because when the technology don't work, we need to know how to go back and use the knowledge of the earth. So we don't need to destroy any culture. That's what I'm saying. Ancient European culture is good. Ancient Asian culture is good. All the continents' ancient culture is good. Now, I'm not saying, we be of one spirituality and practice through our own cultural ways, right? Because there is only one universe, and it works only one way. Only one mother, one father, okay? One sun in our solar system, okay? And one mother planet as represented by Saturn, right? Okay, as represented by Isis, right? Isis representing electromagnetic energy, feminine energy. Okay. Now, so as we said, now we're getting ready to go to video 9. Okay. So, okay. Oh, okay. So akin to Lilith, the black woman is they attempt to beat the black woman down so that they can try to beaten down social and economically, and abuse, and attempts to take her galactic throne. The seed of the woman is to be protected, as it was told in the Bible. It was told, we're getting ready to go to video 4. As it was told in the Bible, you know, the seed of the woman is to be protected, right? Why? Because it doesn't have that seed of the beast, right? It doesn't have that seed, right? It doesn't have the seed of the beast, right? So the woman basically is saying the woman has to be protected. Protect the woman. You need that root, okay? You need that root. You need that root. That root with your you need your roots. Period. So we're gonna go to video 4. So